Hey everyone, this is Turd Flinging Monkey. Now, as my channel has attracted the attention of traditionalists, I occasionally get them wandering onto my channel. And one of the more common arguments that I hear from them I want to respond to in this video. Their basic argument is that even though men have their roles and women have their roles, they're equally valuable. So a man is the protector and provider, and the woman makes the babies and takes care of the children. And even though these are different, they're somehow equally valuable. Equally being the operative word, not just valuable. Obviously having babies and watching over the babies is a valuable service, but is it equally valuable to that of a man? Because that's really the crux of the argument. The difference between something like a patriarchy, even a soft patriarchy, and traditionalism is traditionalism has this air of equality, that women are your partners, and you gotta be equal. Even though the man is clearly contributing far more than the woman. They elevate the woman somehow in their mind, somehow justifying this bullshit, instead of just admitting this is a raw deal. But I don't want you to take my word for it. I'm going to show you the numbers. So let's think about what a woman does. A woman gives birth and she watches the children until around the age of 5 when they start going to school. And then the school basically takes over that job. So let's focus on the raising of toddlers and the giving of birth. Giving birth requires no skill. A woman in a coma can get pregnant and give birth. No conscious decisions, no skills. It's simply a biological function. She has no control over it. There's no skill involved. She just takes the sperm in her pussy and a baby comes out 9 months later. And you can't argue that a biological function that requires no input at all on the part of the woman somehow makes her equal to a man. It makes her equal to a vegetable. So let's focus on the jobs that women do that actually do require conscious input, some degree of skill. And let's look at what they actually pay. And I'm going to be using the website payscale.com to show you these numbers, and I'll provide links in the description. So the first thing I want to look at is a daycare teacher salary. Now the reason why a daycare teacher looks after toddlers. They're not necessarily looking after school-age children, that's the job of the school. And all parents send their kids to school around the age of 5 unless they're homeschooled. We're going to take those off the table for now. A daycare teacher averages $9 an hour. That's it. The range goes from $7.93 to $13.78, but the average is $9 an hour. That is barely above the minimum wage and is sometimes less than the minimum wage depending on what state you're in. And I'll provide a link to the minimum wage rate in the description as well. So a daycare teacher makes $9 an hour, barely above the minimum wage. Let's just call it the minimum wage because that's essentially what it is, depending on the state. The next thing a woman does is a housekeeper. A housekeeper salary is, once again, $9 an hour, the minimum wage. Are you noticing a pattern here? These roles that women fulfill are low skill, minimum wage, bullshit jobs. Are they important? Yes, they're important. Are they equally important? Not a chance in hell. And the way I can explain this is when you look at a company, the different people in the company. You have the CEO, you have the engineer, you have the janitor. They all have important roles. Even the janitor is important. But you don't want the toilets backing up and the computer room flooding because there's shit water everywhere. You have to have a janitor clean it up and keep, everything flowing and clean. But is the janitor equal to the engineer? Is the janitor equal to the CEO? No. You can be important, you can have an important role in an organization, in a society. It doesn't make you equally valuable. And the best way to determine the worth of any sort of role is what does it pay? Now the market rate of a good or a service isn't a perfect indication of its value. Obviously value is somewhat subjective. But the price of something, even labor, determines how valuable it is in general. It doesn't mean the woman's role isn't valuable, it means the man's role is simply more valuable. And the reward for having greater value, for having this increased responsibility, is more authority and power within that society. Someone made a comment in a recent video saying that the reason why I'm not in favor of gender equality is because all men can't reproduce with all women because of the 80-20 rule or something like that. It has nothing to do with that. I don't give a shit. That has nothing to do with authority and responsibility. The fact that an ugly woman can get dick whereas an ugly man is probably going to die a virgin, has nothing to do with my argument. My argument is about authority and responsibility. When the two are not entwined, you have a dysfunctional society. And men are always and will forever be more responsible in society than women, as a byproduct of our nature. It's just the way it is. Unless we rewrite nature, this is the way it is. And what egalitarianism has done, it has disrupted this natural balance by making women equal to men. But since you can't change nature, women now have several advantages over men, and society is paying the price. So please, please traditionalists, please pull your head out of your ass. You know that the woman's role is not as valuable as the man's role. They're still valuable. Obviously, you can't have a society without babies because it would just go extinct after a generation. It doesn't mean a man is 1-for-1 as valuable as a woman because of the whole sperm versus egg thing. You obviously can't have a society with fewer men. As long as they can take, multiple wives or provide for multiple women, you'll be okay, assuming you're not conquered. But a protector and a provider is more valuable than a housekeeper and a baby maker. At best, they're providing low-skill, minimum-wage services, and at worst, they're a liability. I mean, how many guys have girlfriends or wives who don't do shit? They don't do shit around the house, they don't cook, they don't clean, they just spend their money and occasionally fuck them. You're gonna argue that they're equally valuable to the man? Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, I hope the horse is beaten to death at this point, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.